Score is 0-0. Freedom with an opportunity to get some runs in. They loaded the bases, but they loaded those bases with 2 outs. And now up to bat is...
Santiago takes the first turn at the plate for the second inning.
Santiago, the first baseman. He comes in batting .346, pair of doubles and an RBI for the first baseman. Junior, and he will be hit by the pitch. That's Reyes-Munoz, Ricardo Reyes-Munoz on the mound for Wekiva.
Santiago advances to first. Next to the plate, for Freedom, designated hitter, number 27, Christian Duarte.
And Duarte, number 27, a junior. This is only his 3rd game he's played in. He's just still looking for his first hit. Hitless in six plate appearances, 3 official. And Ricardo Munoz gets the sign. Ricardo Reyes-Munoz gets the sign, delivers ball 1. And so Munoz comes in. He's pitched 14 1/3 inning, an 8.30 ERA, and a 1-3 record. Run down to second, and he will beat the throw easily. It actually got by your second baseman. That's Vasquez. Actually, the shortstop, Ross. Vasquez backed it up. Could have been a lot worse, actually.
Yeah, so we will not score that as an error because the play would have been made at second, and beating the throw does not make an error. Now, if he'd gotten a third base out of that, then that certainly would have been.
So your defensive lineup in a minute here as Munoz throws it wild over second base.
Now that, on the other hand, is an error.
Yeah. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. It wasn't like he had to throw the ball. It was a very hesitant throw, actually.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to make the pick, then decided, no, never mind, but he was already in the motion of throwing, so decided to let it go anyway. And it just ended up looking like a lazy throw.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't like he even threw it fast. It was just kind of a half-hearted lob, which was a good 5 feet over the second baseman, Vasquez. But anyway, while we got the opportunity, we'll set the defensive lineup for Wekiva. It's McCoy behind the mound, Simon at first, Vasquez at second, Ross at short, at the hot spot, at the hot corner. Third base is Moya. Your outfield on the left side, Zapata, Smith on the right, and Varney in the middle, in the center. 0-0 is the score, top of the second, runner at third, nobody out, and Duarte, the DH, is at bat. And he has a 2-0 count. Make that 3-0. Ricardo Reyes-Munoz on the mound for Wekiva, making his 5th start. He comes in with a 1-3 record and an 8.30 ERA. He's made 4 appearances, started all 4, and he will walk the second batter of this inning. So Duarte still looking for his first hit of the season, but he will reach base for the 4th time.
Next at the plate for Freedom, left fielder, number 5, Jacob Eccles.
So Eccles, a righty, sophomore. This is his 6th game that he's played in. He's batting exactly .300, 3 for 12 with 3 RBIs and a double. Throw down to second, no throw. McCoy faked the throw. Nonetheless, it is a stolen base for Duarte, and just that quickly, Freedom's got the makings of a really big inning, second and third, and nobody out. Ball hit hard. It's going to be scooped up by the shortstop, Ross. He throws to first, but Eccles does his job, gets the run in, 1-0 Freedom in the top of the second.
Play is made on the 6-3 ground out from Tapia to Santiago, but that scores the run for the Patriots. They get on the board 1-0.
Yeah, and what's also important to note is that Duarte moved from second to third, so still an opportunity to get another run in, only 1 out.
Next at the plate, Number 1, the second baseman, Derek Ujake.
So Ujake looks in for the next pitch, swings, and he'll beat that one foul. That'll even the count at 1-1. Ujake batting .200. He is 1 for 5. This is his 8th game he's played in and has yet to get any RBIs or extra base hits. So the good news if you're Wekiva is that you're at the bottom of the lineup, as that will run the count to 2-1. The bad news is that you still have that runner at third base and only 1 out. You're already down 1-0 in the top of the second. So Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi bringing you the call today. Ball swung by Ujake. He's going to hit a lazy grounder to the second baseman, Vasquez, who goes home, but the throw is beaten by Duarte. 2-0 Freedom.
Vasquez comes home. Ujake beats the throw to first. Patriots take a 2-run lead. Next at the plate for Freedom, they return to the top of the card with center fielder number 9, Seth Sherman.
So some bad luck there for Wekiva. Vasquez and Simon, the right side of the infield, were playing in right where they were supposed to. Unfortunately, the ball was hit just way short of Vasquez. He had to run a good 6 steps in order to get that ball. And, of course, down at third base, Duarte had left as soon as the ball was hit. So good fundamental in terms of strategy and knowing the situation for Wekiva. Unfortunately, the ball just did not agree with their plans. If that ball was hit a little bit harder, probably would have had an out at third base. Now we got a rundown between first and second.
And the play is made. Ujake is caught stealing second, 2 away for the Patriots.
So, yeah, that wasn't actually a rundown per se, Mark, but they did catch Munoz. The pitcher did make the right decision. He went to first, and they caught Ujake between the bases. So no count on Sherman, the leadoff hitter, and he will take ball 1. 2-0 is the score. Freedom in the lead. We are at Mustang Field. Wekiva in the field. Freedom comes in with an 8-3 record, so obviously one of the better teams in the league, as Sherman, the center fielder, looks at strike 1. 1-1 is your count. So Sherman comes in with a .520 batting average, the highest on the Freedom team. He has played in, this is his 10th game. Again, Freedom's 12th game. They are 8-3, one of the better teams in the Central Florida area. Certainly that record gives them legitimacy to get into the postseason tournament, the playoffs. Sherman has 7 RBIs as he looks at ball 2. He also has a double, a triple, and a home run. So certainly Sherman, you can understand why he is at the top of the order for Freeman with those stats. He is 0 for 1 today, though. And he digs back in. There's the pitch from Munoz. And that will run the count to 3-1. Freedom coached by Jeffrey Gray. And they are ranked 160th in the state of Florida, according to Max Preps. And the parade onto the bases continue as Sherman draws the walk.
Sherman walks to first. Next at the plate for the Patriots, shortstop, number 12, Joel Tapia.
And so Tapia, the shortstop, he is 0 for 1 today, the lefty. However, he is actually batting .577, so, excuse me, he's actually got the highest batting average. I said Sherman did. Sherman's batting .520, Tapia's batting .577. Both of them, though, have, this is their 10th game for both of them. 15 for 26 for Tapia, 11 RBIs, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. And Munoz has his hands full over at first with Sherman, who's the leadoff hitter. Sherman drawing the walk. And Sherman has 15 stolen bases already, so that's certainly understandable why Munoz is going to go back to first base for a third consecutive time. And they're going to try to get him stealing, but no avail. Sherman outthinking Munoz and Simon. That'll be his 16th stolen base of the season, and now Freedom has another scoring opportunity, albeit there are 2 outs, which is the good news if you're Wekiva. Tapia steps back in. He has yet to see a first pitch.
Yeah, it'll take a long time to actually get one to the plate here. We do have a camera behind the backstop in case he, decides to throw the ball that direction. There it goes. And it opens with a called strike.
Freedom over on the southeast side of Orange County on Taft Vineland and Orange Avenue. And Tapia hits the ball high, midfield into center field, tracking it down as Varney does a good job of keeping up with that ball and puts the third out away. 2-0, the score remains in favor of Freedom.
Dalton Varney makes the play in center field, and that takes us to the middle of the second inning. In that half inning, the Patriots scoring 2 runs on 1 hit with 1 Mustang error, leaving 1 on base, and the score now stands 2-0 at the end of an inning and a half. We'll be right back. As we enter the bottom of the second inning, the Mustangs will begin in the 4th position of their lineup with shortstop number 12, Connor Ross.
So Ross takes ball 2. Is it 2-2 count?
No, it should be a 1-1.
It's a 1-1 count. So Ross is your shortstop, batting 4th, and he's going to rip that ball down to third base. That's Santana. Nice job with the footwork. Gobbles the ball up over to first. San Diego with a nice reach.
Santana to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out. 1 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate, the throw is beaten as the foot off the bag, and so that will, in fact, put a runner on for Wekiva. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, catcher number 2, Josiah McCoy.
And so as McCoy steps in, Ross is at first base. That was a bit of an odd play there. It was a little hard to see from our vantage point, but the throw was wide of first base as McCoy takes ball 1.
I don't know, Neil. Are you going to score that as a hit or an error?
Yeah, I still think that should be an error. Santiago did have his momentum. He was running towards first base. Santana who's at third, and McCoy with a mighty swing and a miss. So your defensive lineup for the Freedom Patriots, who come in 8-3, it's Leibschutz behind the plate, Santiago at first, Your second baseman is Ujake. In the hole is Tadita, and on the hot corner is Santana. As Ross is hurried back to first with the throw by Freiberger. Freiberger on the mound for the Freedom Patriots. He's a senior, 2-0 record, .58 ERA, and this is his third appearance of the season. And that's going to get by Leibschutz, and Wekiva has its first scoring opportunity of the day with a runner at second now. And what's important for Wekiva is there's nobody out, so they can afford to move the runner station to station.
Meanwhile, the wild pitch brings up a 2-1 count at the plate. Here comes the fourth pitch. That one is dropping fast, but does catch the outside corner of the strike zone for a 2-2.
2-0 is the score. Freedom in the lead. They did not score in the first inning. They scored twice in the second. We are in the bottom of the second from Mustang Field. And the swing and the miss by Simon, unable to advance the runner, one out. Excuse me, McCoy with the striking out.
Freiberger records the swinging strikeout, but one away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, third baseman, number 23, Demir Simon.
Simon fouls off the first pitch. And that will be 0-1 on Simon. So a runner at second for Wekiva, one out. Simon's your batter, and he will look at ball two?
Ball one.
Ball
yep.
one.
So 1-1 count.
We are coming live from Mustang Field as Simon takes ball two, a 2-1 count. Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi bringing you the call-by-call. And Keith Dickerson handling the video aspects of this broadcast, the head of the broadcast production department. And whoa, Simon having to do a bit of some side swiping there, getting out of the way of that pitch. 3-1 count now. So Wekiva looking to answer Freedom in the bottom of the second. And we'll have to wait at least one more pitch as the count now goes full. Oh, Freiberger gets his sign. The pitch. Swing and a miss. High, heavy swing, low pitch, and 2 outs now with the runner remaining at second.
Freiberger records the strikeout to put 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, center fielder, number 20, Dalton Varney.
So Varney steps up to the plate. This is only the 4th game he's played in. He has a .333 batting average with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs and a double, and he will take ball 1. Varney looks at the next pitch. That'll bring the count to 2-0. Certainly a hitter's count now. And Freedom comes in with an 8-3 record, and when you look at their team stats, certainly you can understand why they are 8-3. .392 batting average.
And play.
Should
be a 4-3 ground out, and it is. The play is made on the throw from Ujake to Santiago, and that takes us to the end of the first inning. In that half inning, the Mustangs scoring no runs on no hits. with one Patriot error, leaving one on base. And the score stands 2-0 Freedom at the end of 2 innings. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Field. The Patriots begin the 3rd inning in the 3rd position of their lineup with right fielder number 7, Tyler Cassidy.
And so Cassidy steps in, batting .391 on the season, and he will look at ball 1. A 1-0 count. This is his 10th game he's played in. 9 for 23. As he takes ball 2, a 2-0 count, so another hitter's count. Cassidy with 7 RBIs and 3 doubles. And on the mound for Wekiva is Ricardo Reyes Munoz. And he gets his first strikeout of this at-bat, runs the count to 2-1. Next pitch, hit right up the middle. Nice job by Ross with the footwork, and this time Wekiva gets the out. 1 out, top of the 3rd.
Vasquez to Simon for the 4-3 ground out, 1 away for the Patriots. Next at the plate for Freedom, 3rd baseman, number 19, Aiken Santana.
And so Santana steps up to the plate. He reached base in his first at-bat in the bottom of the 1st. And another ball to begin an at-bat for Munoz, Reyes Munoz. Santana will look at another pitch, this one even higher, 2-0 count. Santana Jr., this is the 10th game he's played in. .375 batting average, 9 for 24, 10 RBIs and a double as he takes strike 1. And so, started to talk about it last inning, and then we were really interrupted with the 3rd out. But Freedom certainly has earned that 8-3 record as another pitch comes down low, 3-1 count. You don't have to be a baseball guru to understand why. Their stats speak for themselves. .392 batting average, .517 on base. As Santana hits that ball into center field, Varney with a fairly long run, but makes no never mind, puts the ball away. So that'll be 1 out. 2 outs, excuse
Dalton
me.
Varney has the fly catch in center field to put 2 away for the Patriots. Next at the plate for Freedom, catcher number 6, Andrew Leipschitz.
And Freedom also has stolen 60 bases on the mound, equally impressive, a 2.48 ERA, as Lepschutz steps into the plate. He is 0 for 1 today. And Lepschutz came into this game batting .400, 5 RBIs, and 3 doubles. And he will take strike one, 1-1 count.
A nice little fastball that dropped a little bit at the end there.
So that evens the count at 1-1. Nobody on base, 2 outs.
That one was high, and he knew it. 2-1 coming up.
Opportunity for Wekiva and Reyes Munoz to go 1-2-3 for the first time today. We are in the top of the third. Ooh, just outside. And that will bring the count to 3-1 on Lepschutz, the catcher, and he will take ball 4. So it will not be a 1-2-3 inning for the first time.
Lepschutz walks to first. Next at the plate for the Patriots, first baseman, number 24, Christian Santiago.
So Santiago steps in. He is 0 for 0. Did come up to bat in the second inning. Was hit by a pitch. Eventually came around and scored the first of the 2 runs by Freedom. On the season, Santiago, the senior first baseman, batting .346, 9 for 26, with an RBI and a double. And so Reyes Munoz continues to focus his attention on Lepschutz at first. 2-0 is the score, top of the third. From Mustang Field, Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi with the call. As Lepschutz is caught running to second, and he will be gunned down by Simon to Vasquez.
Lepschutz caught stealing second by Vasquez, and that takes us to the middle of the third inning. No runs scored on no hits with no Mustang errors as the Patriots effectively go 3 up and 3 down, even though a fourth batter did appear. None left on base, and the score remains 2-0 at the end of 2.5 innings. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Field. Wekiva begins in the 8th position of their lineup with third baseman number 11, Andre Moya, who advances to first base on the very first pitch. Next at the plate for Wekiva, right fielder number 5, Wyatt Smythe.
And after Smythe, Hepburn, and then Vasquez due up. Smythe, the right fielder, He's batting ninth, and this is the first time he's coming up today. He's going to hit that bunt foul, and fortunately for Wekiva, falls harmlessly to the ground. 2-0 is the score. Freedom scoring a pair of runs in the top of the second. Freiberger looking to go 3-0 today on the mound for Freedom. And he begins the count to Smith with the ball. And now 2 balls. 2-0 count. Ball hit. It's going into no man's land. And worse so become worser for Freedom as the ball gets by the first baseman, Santiago.
All right, so Neil, you want to give a single and then an error on the extra base?
Yeah, that's a single and an error. And now I do see Smith running home. Everybody's getting an extra base, so I'm not sure why. We'll have at least a single and an error. That got the runners to second and third on the error.
Smythe picks up a single for himself and then gets some extra bases during the play. And it will put the Mustangs on the board as Moya comes home. Next at the plate for Wekiva, they will return to the top of the lineup card with designated hitter number 16, Malachi Hepburn.
And so do we have official word why everybody was allowed to take that second base?
I'm going to assume that because the ball was thrown into the dugout, that's considered out of play and awards 2 bases to everybody from where they are.
Okay. So a single, an infield single by Moya got that started as Hepburn, who struck out in the first inning, takes ball 1. Then an error, the second baseman Ujake trying to make up, probably should have held the ball, but nonetheless, Valor got the better part of discretion there.
That's a high risk, high reward, but also high consequence kind of play.
And then Santiago wound up with the ball after he was able to get it was loose, as Hepburn hits that ball down, behind the plate, giving chase is Lepschutz, who puts it away, 1 out.
Leibschitz makes the play behind the plate for a foul out. 1 away for the Mustangs. That also will hold Smythe at third. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, second baseman, number 21, Christian Vasquez.
And so when all was said and done on that previous, that play which brought in the run, Simon then threw the ball into the dugout, and that was why Wekiva was able to score its first run. So Vasquez steps in. He is 0 for 1 today.
Tries to bunt there, but just draws the strike instead.
Vasquez batting .444 entering today. Has 8 hits and 2 RBIs. And an opportunity for him to do some more damage, but he'll have to wait another pitch. That brings the count to 1-1. Freiberger on the mound for Freedom, gets the call, gets the pitch, and that will run the count to 2-1, ball outside. Wekiva trailing 2-1, bottom of the third. Vasquez at the mound, and he has to get out of the way of the high, hard heat. And so the count is now 2-1. Freiberger gets his sign. Swing and a miss. That ball was low and a little bit outside and fooled Vasquez. So the next pitch from Freiberger, and Vasquez is going to line that one into right field, and we are tied at 2-2. Bottom of the third inning. Wekiva answering. Good situational at bat for Vasquez. He goes inside outside and gets that ball into right field.
Christian Vasquez picks up the RBI single as Smythe comes home to score for the Mustangs and tie the game. Next at the plate for Wekiva, left fielder, number 15, Jackson Zapata.
So not only has Wekiva tied the game at 2-2, but they also have the first two hits of the ball game in this inning. As Zapata takes a mighty swing, and that will go foul down the third baseline. So we are at Mustang Field. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi bringing you the call. Keith Dickerson handling the video aspects of this broadcast. He's also the broadcast production director here at Wekiva. And we are approximately about 5 minutes from the softball game beginning. Wekiva will take on the Ocoee Knights as the count is now 3-2. Oh, was that the line? And Freiberger looks in. That ball is fouled off. Zapata at the plate. He is 0 for 1 today. Runner at first with 2 outs. Okay. Excuse me, there's actually 1 out in the bottom of the third. Freiberger, the pitcher, cruised through the first 2 innings, facing 7 batters. And now he's run into trouble in the top of the third, giving up a 2-0 lead. We are tied at 2-2. And now a 2-2 count being faced by Zapata. And Zapata came into today, he's one of the hotter hitters, batting .455, and he's going to up that batting average, finding the hole between second and third. First and second, still 1 out for Wekiva in the bottom of the third.
Jackson Zapata picks up a single grounder into left center field. He's safe at first. Runners now at 1 and 2. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, shortstop number 12, Connor Ross.
So the inning continues. That's Connor Ross stepping in, the freshman, batting .286. He takes a mighty swing, 0-1 count. Has 8 runs and 8 RBIs out of that number 3 position. One of those 8 hits has been a double as Freiberger delivers. That ball is going to be hit softly down to first, scooped up by Santiago, and that'll be your second out of the inning, but the runners do advance.
Santiago makes the unassisted out at first. 2 away for the Mustangs. Runners now at 2 and 3. Next at the plate for Wekiva, catcher number 2, Josiah McCoy.
So McCoy, another freshman on this young Wekiva team. He's batting .250. This is the 12th game he's played in all of them as he takes a cut and misses from Freiberger. 5 RBIs for McCoy, a pair of doubles. And now a 0-2 count being faced by McCoy. Runners at first and second. 2-2 is the score. And the runners at second and third, excuse me. So Wekiva, with an opportunity to take this lead, stays intact, and it will as McCoy fouls away another pitch. McCoy struck out in the second inning, his only at bat. Pitch from Freiberger. Snagged in the opposite direction by Freiberger. So Freiberger minimizes the damage, but Wekiva still ties the score. We're 2-2 heading into the top of the fourth.
Freiberger to Santiago for the 1-3 ground out, and that takes us to the end of the third inning. In that half inning, the Mustangs tie the game, picking up 2 runs, and we are at 2-2 at the end of 3 innings. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Mustang Field. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi bringing you the action. 2-2. And this is Santiago who's going to lift it into center field. And Varney, 2 steps to his right. 1 up, 1 down. Freedom at the plate. Wekiva in the field.
Next at the plate for the Patriots, designated hitter, number 27, Christian Duarte.
So Duarte steps into the plate. Varney swinging at the first, Santiago swinging at the first pitch for the first out. And Duarte, the DH, takes strike 1.
And we also have softball getting underway. We're waiting for a lineup card to come over. I wasn't able to flag anybody down until it was too late. And we're also working on getting a second camera set up over there so that you can see what happens after somebody leaves the bag.
In the meantime, Duarte, your DH, will take ball 2, a 2-0 count. Duarte still has yet to get his first hit. He has only 3 official at-bats. This is his 7th plate appearance of the season. He walked in his first at-bat today in the 2nd inning and scored the 2nd run. And he will, again, get another walk. So Duarte now 0 for 0, but been on base twice with 2 walks. And that will bring up the sophomore left fielder Eccles, who Mark will announce here in a minute.
Next at the plate for Freedom, Left fielder number 5, Jacob Eccles.
Eccles 0 for 1 today, but he did get an RBI. He did get the first RBI in with a ground out to the shortstop. He was batting .300 entering today's game with 3 RBIs and a double. As Duarte is reminded by Reyes Munoz, the Wekiva pitcher, to stay over there first. The throw, now the pitch home. Throw down to second. And yes, safe. So I did not see the second base umpire give the safe signal or an out signal, but on that. But the end result is Duarte is at second with 1 out. And Eccles is at the plate, the sophomore batting .300. He will take ball 1. 2-2 is the score. We are in the top of the 4th. So at the end of this half inning, we will be halfway through the game. And Duarte will take ball 2. And what started off as a overcast, very dark weather with some rain, a drizzle, has turned into a rather windy afternoon, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil.
And that, to be honest, is part of the problems we're facing here at Mustang Field. We did tell you that the softball game is underway. Wekiva playing Ocoee. And that ball's lined just beyond third base into left field. Duarte rounding third. Throw home. It's off target. And Freedom will regain the lead at 3-2 on the single by Eccles. So you hear about it all the time. The walk leads to danger. Proves true again.
Eccles with the RBI single, and the Patriots retake the lead. Next at the plate, second baseman, number 1, Derek Ujake.
So Ujake, he's 0 for 1. And batting .200 for the season. He fouls that first pitch off with the attempted bunt. This is the number 9 hitter in the Freedom lineup. So Freedom will be starting its lineup for the 3rd time, and the next batter, that'll be Sherman. Ujake facing a 0-1 count. Reyes Munoz on the mound for Wekiva. Another bunt that's fouled off. And, of course, with only 1 out, that's not a bad idea, Mark, to try to get that bunt down, get the runner over to third. Of course, the problem with that is then the next batter, as we mentioned, Sherman, would have to get a single or a walk to keep the inning going. And that ball is outside. A 1-2 count now to the number 9 hitter in the Freedom lineup, Ujake, the second baseman. And he will take ball 2, a 2-2 count. And the pitch from Reyes Munoz, it's now full. So an 0-2 start has now turned into a full count on Ujake, the number 9 hitter. So key point in the game with a runner at second and 1 out. And not only are we going to get a walk, but a wild pitch, and that will advance Eccles down to third. And Ujake will remain at first. So Reyes Munoz, the Wekiva pitcher, got the first batter, Santiago, out, fly out to center. The 3 batters since then have reached base, 2 walks and a single. And most importantly, Freedom has gone back into the lead at 3-2. Now they have runners at first and third with only 1 out, and we are back at the top of the lineup with Sherman, the center fielder, and Ujake taking advantage of Echoes down at third base. He will steal second.
Now at the plate for Freedom at the top of the card, center fielder, number 9, Seth Sherman.
Sherman, the senior, steps in. Takes a strike. Nice pitch by Reyes Munoz, catching low, the knees and the outside. Sherman has played in every game for Freedom. He entered today batting .520, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles and a triple, and a home run. And he takes a swing and a miss. The breaking pitch effective for Reyes Munoz. Sherman today 0 for 1, but he did reach base in his second at-bat on a walk. 3-2 is the score. We are in the top of the fourth. Freedom taking the lead in this inning as Sherman tries to pull that ball. Count will remain at 1-1. Reyes Munoz looks into his catcher McCoy, gets the sign, delivers, and we now have a 2-2 count. And the pitch, and that will hit Sherman. So the bases are now loaded with only 1 out.
Next at the plate for the Patriots with loaded bases, shortstop number 12, Joel Tapia.
So Tapia steps in. He is 0 for 2 today, but he is the Freedom's leading hitter, at least in batting average, .577. 15 for 26 entering today with 11 RBIs, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run, as we now have a conference at the mound. So far this inning, Reyes Munoz has done a very good job of getting ahead of the batters. I believe he's gotten a strike on the first pitch on every batter, but unfortunately he loses them once the at-bats hit the middle and the latter stages. So he got the first batter, Santiago, to fly out to center. Reyes Munoz did. And then the 4 batters since Santiago have reached base, and 2 by means of a walk. 1 was a hit batsman and the other a single. And that single was an RBI, also knocked in the 3rd run, which gave Freedom the lead at 3-2. That was by Echoes, the left fielder. And so the conference is over. Tapia steps back in, facing a 0-1 count. And he's going to hit that ball to center field. Actually, left field. Throw home from Zapata. Actually, it was cut off. And so Tapia does, the out is recorded, but the runners advance, and that ups the lead to 4-2 in favor of Freedom in the top of the 4th.
Santiago is thrown out at first, but Duarte is thrown out at first, but brings the runner home. Next at the plate, Tapia is... Okay, I get completely lost because Freedom has the number on the left and the position on the right, and it's it's completely confusing me. Now at the plate is number 7, the right fielder, Cassidy.
Okay, the bottom line is an RBI, recorded an RBI for Tapia, the sophomore, and the score is now 4-2. Cassidy at the plate. First 2 pitches from Reyes Munoz are balls. So 4-2 is the score. We are in the top of the 4th inning. Freedom, the visitors. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi with the call from Mustang Field. Keith Dickerson handling the video aspects. And another low pitch. Sherman is on second. So if you're Wekiva, you desperately need to get an out here. You don't want that 4-2 lead to become 5-2. 2 runs are certainly within realm. 3-run deficit as the count is now 1-1. You know, it seems like that difference between 2 and 3 runs is really big. 1 and 2 is not super big, but you go between 2 and 3, it just sounds much bigger. In the meantime, Cassidy, patient at the plate, takes the walk.
Cassidy walks to first. Next at the plate for the Patriots, third baseman, number 19, Aiken Santana.
So Santana steps in. He's he's reached base once today, flew out to center field. His last at bat, which was in the top of the third. Santana entering today, batting .375, 10 RBIs and a double. And he begins with a 1-0 count. And that'll run the count to 2-0. So Freedom, a member of District 7A 5, that's Class 7A, District 5, looking to go 9-3 today as Santana takes ball 3. 3-0 count. Bases are loaded with 2 outs, top of the fourth. Freedom scoring 2 runs to take a 4-2 lead in this inning, and they will now go up 5-2 as Reyes Munoz 4 straight balls to Santana. And that will also be the 11th RBI this season for Santana. And most importantly, the bases remain loaded.
Next at the plate, catcher, number 6, Andrew Leipschitz.
So Leipschitz steps in. He's 0 for 1 today, but did reach base on a walk. In the third inning, batting .400, entering today, 5 RBIs with 3 doubles. And with the bases loaded, Freedom an opportunity to really put this game, take control of this game. Count now 1-1. Freedom, a member of Class 7A District 5, they're looking to up their record to 9-3 today. 4-2 on the road. Ooh, nice job behind the plate by McCoy. That ball did get behind him, but he was able to stop enough of it that it stopped right behind him. And Leipschitz, the catcher, steps back into the plate. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 4-2 Freedom lead. And the curveball does not hit the target. And that will even the count at 1-1. Great opportunity for Freedom. And not the most spectacular of ways, but nonetheless, just as effective. The walk will bring in the 6th run of the game. That will up the lead to 6-2. And Leipschitz will get credit for his 6th RBI of the season.
Leipschitz walks to first. That advances another run with the bases loaded. Next at the plate, first baseman, number 24, Christian Santiago.
So 4 runs have been pushed across the plate in this inning by Freedom. That broke a 2-2 tie. And Freedom has also gone through the entire batting order in this inning as Santiago fouls that first pitch off.
And just so you know, we were a little bit discombobulated there when the softball game first started because half the equipment didn't work, and we are also still trying to get Ocoee's lineup. So that's why you're not seeing a score bug at the bottom of your screen for softball. So as soon as we have accurate information that we can post, we will put it up there, and then we will start accurately calling that game. Just don't want you to think we're completely neglecting the softball game.
And the count now 1-1 to Leipschitz. As Reyes Munoz delivers inside, that'll up the count to 2-1 from the batter's perspective.
And nearly had a hit batsman there.
5 walks in this inning has been given up by Reyes Munoz, as now the umps are going to confer. Not sure exactly what they're conferring about. Freedom has scored 4 runs nonetheless in this inning with only 1 hit. Again, 5 walks have been issued by Reyes Munoz, who was pitching decently. He had a respectable start through the first 3 innings, giving up only 2 runs. But he has certainly had his issues with control here in the top of the 4th. And now getting some discussion between the umpire and the discussion between is over as Santiago lifts one down the right field line, and it's going to actually go out of play. Jeff Gray is the head coach. That's the man you saw talking with the home plate umpire. Delivery from Reyes Munoz. That's outside. Santiago 0 for 1 today. He was hit by a pitch and actually scored Freedom's first run in the bottom of the 1st. Flew out to center fielder's last time up, and he will take what is now the 6th walk of this inning. And Santiago was also get his credit for his 2nd run of the inning, and I think we're going to see a pitching change. That's Coach Scudero.
Next at the plate for the Patriots will be designated hitter number 27, Christian Duarte, but first we'll pause for a Mustang timeout. Meanwhile, we'll turn our attention over to the softball game. Softball, we now have confirmed, is 1-1, and this is actually the top of the 2nd inning, which I will update here in a moment. And let's see, we have at the plate number 99, Walker. Walker walks to first. Next at the plate for Ocoee, center fielder number 18, Gable. Now pitching for the Mustangs, number 5, Wyatt Smythe.
So Wyatt Smythe takes over from Reyes Munoz with 2 outs. Excuse me, 1 out. In the top of the 4th, the bases loaded. Wekiva trailing 7-2. And the first batter he faced will be Duarte, the designated hitter. Smythe, coming into today, had pitched 6 1/3 inning. He has a 8.84 ERA in 6 appearances, giving up 10 hits, 11 runs, 8 earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout.
First pitch is low for ball 1 on the softball side. And we're going to try this now that we are fully equipped with all the information we need. We have lineups now for both sides. We have the score for both sides. I do not know how many outs are on the Knights at this point, but we'll get that information in a second. It is a 1-1 count. I'm going to let Neil continue to focus on the baseball game. I'm going to try to turn my attention to the softball game as we get a foul away there to bring up a 1-2 count for Gable.
So Duarte is about to step into the plate. He is again 0 for 0 today, 2 walks and scored twice, stolen second base as well. Duarte still looking for his first hit of the season. He's only played in 3 games, including today's. And now he has 8 plate appearances with 5 walks. So the first pitch from Smythe, strike 1. So still a long way to go, but at least some semblance of optimism if you're Wekiva. Wekiva's given up 5 runs in this inning. A 2-2 tie is now 7-2. Ball hit hard into right field. Slap there. 1 run in, 2 runs in. It's going to go all the way up to the wall. And Duarte digging for third. And he's going to slide in with the triple and 3 RBIs.
3 RBI triples scored by Duarte. For Ocoee, meanwhile, or for Freedom, Ocoee, meanwhile, also brings 1 in.
So that will leave a runner at third, still 1 out. A 10-2 ball game in the top of the 4th. And now Freedom is flexing its offensive muscles. They came into the game batting .392 as Echo steps in and swings and misses at the first offering from Smythe.
Meanwhile, we got a ball over on the Ocoee side after the run scores. That brings up a 1-0 count. The second one in the dirt to make it 2-0.
Echoes hitting that ball over to Moya. A little bit of trouble getting it. Finally grasped it over to first. And 12 batters later, the 4th inning is finally over. Major damage done. 10-2 is the score. Freedom in the lead.
Patriots picking up 8 runs in that half inning to give them a 10-2 lead. And that takes us to the middle of the second inning on the softball field. Ocoee adding 1 to their score in that half inning to make it a 2-1 ball game.
That's still Freiberger on the mound, 17. Ten to 2 is the score. The score was actually 2-2 heading into the top of the 4th. 8 runs pushed across the plate by Freedom as Varney takes a swing and a miss. And believe it or not, Freedom actually had not gotten a hit off of Ricardo Reyes-Munoz, the Wekiva starter, until until 3 batters into the 4th inning. They have 2 in total now, despite the 10 runs, as Moya swings at that first offering from Freiberger. The story of the game, which it really has been throughout the season, Mark, has been walk and hits batsman. Only 2 hits as the pitch comes in from Freiberger, and he will take ball 1. 1-2 count.
Concepcion gets to third base on a triple. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, number 3, Avery Schoen.
Strike 3. Strike. Okay, it's a 1-2 count. 11 walks or hit batsmen by the Wekiva pitchers this afternoon, as the count will now go to 2-2. So that's really been the story of Wekiva throughout this season. They came into today's game a very nice batting average, 284, as strike 3, 2 up, 2 strikeouts for Freiberger. Actually 3 up, 3 down.
That takes us to the end of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on base as the Mustangs go 3 up and 3 down. And the score remains 10-2 on the baseball side. Play is made at first on the softball side, but the run comes home for Concepcion to tie the game at 2.
And on the baseball side, we will begin the top of the 5th inning. Ujake, Sherman, and Tapia due up in this top of the 5th. Freedom holding a 10-2 lead over Wekiva. We are live from Mustang Field. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, Keith Dickerson handling the video aspects, and Will Smythe on the mound for Wekiva. First pitch drop foul by Ujake, who is 0 for 1 today. Did walk and score a run in his second at bat. That was during the top of the 4th inning, the last inning. And that will be the story of this game, most likely, Mark. 8 runs pushed across the plate by Freedom. Only 2 hits in that inning, and it was actually the first 2 of the game, but 9 walks and hit batsmen. And so Wekiva has hit the ball well throughout the season, batting .284, but they had a 7.54 ERA, and that will continue today as another wild pitch uncorked. Nobody on base. So it'll just be a ball. But there's an example of Wekiva's issues on the mound. Pitching and offense and batting has been very strong, but the pitching has certainly been the opposite. As Ujake hits that ball down the right field line and out of play. It'll run the count to 1-2. Will Smith coming in the top of the, Will Smythe coming in the top of the 4th inning and faced 2 batters. He begins this inning, one of his own, and he will now have a 2-2 count on Ujake, the second baseman. And ball fouled off. Count will remain at 1-2.
Meanwhile, we have bases loaded on the softball field, courtesy of Cheyenne Merrick. Next at the plate for the Mustangs will be number 22, Elisha Perez.
Smythe delivers. Ball hit into no man's land just beyond second. Vasquez doing a nice job with the footwork and puts away the first out of the inning.
Vasquez on the throw, on away for the Mustangs, or excuse me, for the Patriots. Next at the plate for Freedom, right fielder, number 5, Jacob Eccles.
So Eccles steps in. Eccles 1 for 3 today with a pair of RBIs, though.
We got some excitement on the softball field as Wekiva scores 2.
So again, thank you for joining us. And we are trying a bit of a different broadcast. We have both baseball and softball games being played at the same time. And this is Eccles, the left field. On the baseball side, he will take strike 1, evens the count at 1-1. Eccles singling in the top of the 4th. He got an RBI, actually broke the 2-2 tie, and eventually scored himself. And he's going to hit that ball to left field. A routine play, should be a routine play for Zapata, who steps up and puts the ball away. 2 outs.
Zapata makes the play to put 2 away for the Patriots. Meanwhile, on the softball side, Griffin is thrown out, and that takes us to the end of the second inning. Perez with the 2 RBIs there, in addition to 1 other, gives Wekiva a 4-2 advantage at the end of the second.
So stepping in now to Tapia, the shortstop. He is 0 for 3 today, but did knock in a run in that 8-run 4th inning for Freedom. Freedom holding a 10-2 lead in the top of the 5th. That's Will Smythe on the mound for Wekiva. So a bit of an oddity. Mirror opposite records for both these teams. Freedom 8-3, Wekiva 3-8. As the lefty, Tapia, takes strike 1. Evens the count at 1-1. Freedom ranked 160th in the state of Florida by Max Preps. That'll make the count 2-1.
And nice work there behind the plate by McCoy, bringing that one in. Of course, there's nobody on to take advantage anyway.
So what was a disastrous top of the 4th inning from the Wekiva perspective, at least take some solace in going 1-2-3 an opportunity as that ball drops in, so there will not be a 1-2-3 inning. And Tapia gets his first hit of the game. He was batting .300 entering this game.
Tapia with the single. He's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Patriots, number 25, number 7, the right fielder, Tyler Cassidy.
So an overcast and humid day from Mustang Field. Thank you for joining us. We have both softball and baseball going on.
Meanwhile, Shea leads off for Ocoee for the 3rd inning and is safe at first.
And throw down the second. And Tapia in with ease at second. Cassidy 0 for 1 today, grounded out to short his first at bat, but walked in the top of the 4th and scored. 8 runs pushed across the plate by Freedom in that top of the 4th is now the difference as the count goes to 2-1.
Jackson with the single. It puts runners at 1 and 2 as Hendley takes the plate for Ocoee.
Smythe gets his signal. Ball hit in the hole. And Ross unable to grasp it. He was going in the opposite direction towards third base. The ball was going towards second. And when all said and done, Freedom runners at first and third with 2 outs.
And so next at the plate For the Patriots, third baseman, number 19, Aiken Santana.
So Santana steps in. He's also 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center in his first at-bat, walked and scored a run in his last at-bat, the top of the fourth, first pitch. And Vasquez grabs the ball, steps on second, takes the easy out, and no runs are scored, much needed after the 8 runs in the top of the fourth. Score still remains 10-2 in favor of Freedom.
Vasquez with the play at second, and that takes us to the middle of the 5th inning. Freedom continuing to maintain a 10-2 lead after 4.5. Hendley scores a run and puts runners at 1 and 3. Next at the plate for Ocoee, number 44, Smith.
And we begin the bottom of the fourth. Wekiva needing some runs. They're down 10-2. And so the story of this game has really been the top of the fourth. 9 walks and hit batsmen combined, only 2 hits by Freedom. But those hits were very important hits. Both of them knocked in runs. A single by Eccles knocked in 1 run, and a triple by Duarte knocked in 3 runs, a bases clearing triple. 8 runs in total, broke a 2-2 tie. Now the score is 10-2, and unfortunately Wekiva's theme, which has been good hitting but bad pitching, is continuing with those 9 walks and hit batsmen.
First pitch is inside for ball 1. Meanwhile, again, we have number 44 at the plate on Ocoee side. That's Smith. We'll get a strike on the baseball side. Swing, and in play.
Smith, Hepburn, and Vasquez due up for the baseball team. Smythe now looking at a 1-1 count. That's Freiberger on the mound for Freedom. He started. He's given up 2 runs and 3 hits, both runs earned, as that will put the count squarely in the pitcher's favor.
Smith is out at first but scores the run. 1 away for the Knights. Next at the plate, number 00, Navoa.
And Smythe on baseball side hits the ball right back to Freiberger. Throw over to first. Santiago touches the base. 1 up, 1 away.
1 away for the Mustangs on the throw to first. Next at the plate for Wekiva. They return to the top of the lineup with designated hitter number 16, Malachi Hepburn.
So Hepburn 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a fly ball. He looks at strike 1.
Now at the plate, number 19, Tack for the Knights.
Hepburn, this is his 10th game he's played in, batting .481, 6 runs, 13 hits, and 9 RBIs entering today, as the count is now 0-2. Certainly a pitcher's count. Freiberger looks, wheels and deals, and Hepburn does not chase that low pitch. So a 1-2 count now. Swing and a miss. And that will take the count to 1-2.
Meanwhile, we get a strike on the baseball side. That brings up a 1-2 count over there. Another swing, and that is a foul tip into the glove. The strikeout will put 2 away for the Mustangs and retire the batter. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 21, Christian Vasquez, the second baseman.
7th strikeout for Freiberger. who came in today's game 2-0, .58 ERA. This is his third start, and he will get that perfect start on Vasquez with the called strike. 10-2 is the score, bottom of the fourth.
Witz records the strikeout. Next at the plate will be number 99, Walker.
Bottom of the fifth, 10-2 is the score on the baseball side. And Vasquez, 1 for 2. He singled, scored, knocked in the first run, and then scored the second run himself.
Witz records another strikeout, and that will take us to the middle of the third inning, leaving 2 on base. The score now 4-3 Wekiva as Ocoee cuts 1 in to the Mustang lead.
1-1 is your count on the baseball side to Christian Vasquez. Freiberger delivers. Vasquez, solid contact, and he will drop the fourth hit of the day for the Mustangs. So the inning is extended by Vasquez, who is now 2 for 3 on the day.
Vasquez singles. Next at the plate for Wekiva, left fielder number 15, Jackson Zapata. Meanwhile, that takes us again to the middle of the third on the softball side.
Zapata steps in, 1 for 2 today. Vasquez got the first RBI. Zapata got the second RBI for Wekiva, who's trailing 10-2. He'll swing and miss on the high, hard heat, and that will bring the count to 0-1. Zapata batting .455 at the beginning of the day with 12 RBIs and 4 doubles, and he will take strike 3. Actually, he swings and misses at strike 3. That will bring the bottom of the fifth to a close, 10-2.
10-2 remains the score at the end of 5 on the baseball side. Meanwhile, on the softball side, we now enter the bottom of the third inning. Leadoff hitter for the Mustangs this time is in the 5th position of the lineup, number 23, Matrice Boyd. Right. Now pitching for the Mustangs, number 11, Andre Moya.
And welcome back to Mustang Field. We begin the top of the 6th inning, Freedom holding a 10-2 lead. And a new pitcher on the mound, that's Andre Moya for Wekiva. He throws his first pitch to Leibschutz for ball 1. Leibschutz 0 for 1 today, but he has walked both in his 2 last at-bats. He will take ball 2. So Moya comes in. He has an 8.40 ERA, no win or loss. And yeah, it's 3-0 count now. As Leibschutz digs in, and excuse me, that will take the count to 2-0. And excuse me, that is 4 consecutive balls. And that will bring Santiago, the first baseman, up.
Leibschitz walks to first to open up the top of the 6th inning. Next at the plate for Freedom, first baseman number 24, Christian Santiago.
So Santiago steps up. He is actually only 0 for 1 today as well. He has been hit by a pitch and walked. He scored a run after both of those. He'll take ball 1.
Boyd strikes out from the new pitcher, number 1, Shea. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 21, Luis Concepcion.
So a lot of 0 for 1 on the batters as a throw down the second. That's wild. And Leibschitz will get all the way over to third without the benefit of a hit. And where I was going before that pitch, that's an perfect example. Only 2 hits today for Freedom, but 12 walks or hit batsmen has been thrown by the Wekiva pitchers. That includes 9 in the disastrous 4th inning. 8 runs were pushed across the plate by Freedom.
Foul out is made by Wallace behind the plate. 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 3, Avery Schoen, the first baseman.
And so Santiago will remain alive at the plate. And that will even the count at 1-1. So a lot of walks and hit batsmen, 12 in total, and that's really been the story of the game. And that really has been Wekiva's season in a nutshell.
That takes us to the end of the 3rd inning on the fly catch. And the score remains unchanged, 4-4 at the end of 3.
Wekiva came into this game offensively batting .284, 23 stolen bases, .414 batting average. But they had given up 7.54. That's their ERA. And getting on base without a hit continues. Santiago will take first.
Santiago advances to first base. That puts runners at 1 and 3 for the Patriots. Next at the plate for Freedom, designated hitter, number 27, Christian Duarte.
So Duarte will step in, runners at first and second, nobody out. First and third, nobody out. Moya with one of the 2 hits today, and it was a big one. He walked his first 2 times up, scored, and then slashed a triple, clearing the bases, 3 RBIs. And we're not going to see a throw over to second with the runner at third. So runners at second and third, and most importantly, nobody out. So Duarte with 3 RBIs and an opportunity to get at least 4 here. Doesn't need to get a base hit. Hits the ball to the right side of the infield, will do the job. Wekiva's going to concede that run. They're playing on the right side. They're playing medium depth on the infield. Moya is playing on the edge of the infield, the third baseman. Ross playing medium depth. Top of the 6, 10-2 is the score. Freedom in the lead.
As we enter the top of the 4th inning, the Knights will begin in the 8th position of their lineup with center fielder number 18, Gable.
And Duarte at the plate. He will take ball 2. A 2-1 count. Runners at second, third, nobody out. Moya on the mound for Wekiva. He delivers high, and that will load the bases for the second time today, or the second inning that Freedom has had the bases loaded.
Meanwhile, we have the pitch ruled foul. It's a good thing, too, because otherwise Gable was gone.
So the hit and hit batsman combined is now up to 14 on the day for the Wekiva Mustangs. That's the baseball team. And the bases are loaded without a hit. As Echols at the plate, he takes ball 1, had to do some dipsy-dootying to get out of the way. Only 2 hits on the day for Freedom.
Now at the plate is left fielder number 5, Jacob Echols.
Echols will take ball 2. Echols with one of those 2 hits. Both those hits actually came in the top of the 4th. 8 runs pushed across the plate by Freedom on 9 hits and 9 hit batsmen in the 2 walks, in the 2 hits.
Gable walks to first. Up next will be Wallace.
And swing and a miss by Echols. That'll even make the count 2-1. Echols' single did bring in a run. And Duarte had a triple, which brought in 3 runs. The 2 hits in the top of the 4th. That ball's going to go to the shortstop. Over to first. And safe. So Vasquez picks up the ball, steps on second, but couldn't get the out at first. Although Simon, with a nice stretch, could have...
One RBI picked up on the fielder's choice. Play made at second to put 1 away. Runners now at 1 and 3, and next at the plate will be number 1, the second baseman, Derek Ijake.
So that makes the score 11-2. Echols doesn't get the hit, but he does get another RBI. 3 now on the day. And there's where your situational hitting comes into play. In the meantime, Ujake at the plate, and he will be hit by the pitch, and that will load the bases yet again.
Ujake advances to first, and now the Patriots return to the top of the card with center fielder number 9. That's Seth Sherman.
And we began the game with some rain and falling on Mustang Field, both of the fields, and it's starting to rain again. As we're going to get another stoppage of play.
Meanwhile, on the softball field, Ocoee has returned to the top of the card with left fielder number 1, Shea.
So Moya will remain on the mound after the confab. 10-2, Freedom in the lead. They have led since the top of the 4th when they put together a 8-run inning. And this is
some excitement at third on the softball side as we get the out thrown there. That'll put up, I think, 2 away for the Knights. We're starting to get some rainfall again. There's a connection. Drops it just at the bag, and the Mustangs will not even try to make that play. Next at the plate for the Knights, number 8, Jackson.
So Jackson will step up. Tapia. And he will hit the ball into center field. And that will bring in another run, 12-2. What happened?
One run comes in.
And so we will get another pitching change. Coach Scudero making the call to the bullpen for the 4th pitcher. And we will make that pitching change, which is the score at 12-2.
Play is made from Lexi Witz on the throw to Avery Schoen, and that will take us to the middle of the third inning. And the Mustangs avoiding any damage there. The score remains unchanged, 4-4 at the end of, or at 2.5. Meanwhile, with the pitching change occurring on the baseball field, we have a little bit of a break on both sides.
Is that Rosado?
Now on the plate for the Mustangs, or now on the mound rather, number 10, Ian Rosado.
So Rosado, the senior, right-hander. He will come in making, this is his first appearance on the mound today, and he inherits a 13-2 score.
Now at the plate for the Patriots, number 7, the right fielder, Tyler Cassidy.
So Cassidy steps up. He is 1 for 2 today. A ground out to shortstop, a walk, and a single. And walks and hit batsmen continue to be the Achilles heel of Wekiva, as Cassidy takes ball 1. Three walks began this inning. Cassidy stroking that ball to the shortstop Ross. Right at him, fielded position correctly, perfectly.
6-3 ground out, scored on the throw from Ross to Simon. One away for the Patriots. Meanwhile, the Mustangs on the softball side will begin the bottom of the fourth inning in the 8th position of their lineup with left fielder number 7, Aubriana Bryson.
And so we will return for the bottom of the 6th inning, the score 13-2, Freedom in the lead on baseball.
Swing and a miss. On the softball side, another swing. And that will be a strikeout. Shea records the swinging strikeout to put one away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, Lexi Witz flies out to third, and that will take us to the end of the 4th inning. No runs scored on no hits with no night errors and none left on base. The score remains tied at the end of 4. As we enter the bottom of the 6th inning on the Mustang side of the field, for baseball, they begin in the 4th position of their lineup with shortstop number 12, Connor Ross.
And the score is 13-2, Freedom in the lead, which means Wekiva has to score at least 2 runs to send this game into a 7th inning. 10 runs is the deficit if it's a 10-run game. After the 4th inning, the game is officially in the books and concluded at the end of the home team's at-bat. So Ross comes up. He is 0 for 2 today. Did reach base in the 2nd on an error. And he will look at ball 2, a 2-1 count. McCoy and then Simon due up next after Ross. Wekiva with only 3 hits today as the swing and the miss. That'll even the count at 2-2 for Ross. 3 hits, all 3 of them came in the 3rd inning. Wekiva scored 2 runs and actually tied the game at 2-2. And there's the first of the 3 outs, a swing and a miss by Ross.
Strikeout recorded by Freiberger. 1 away for the Mustangs. Meanwhile, over on the softball side, the Knights begin in the 3rd position of their lineup with 3rd baseman number 47, Hendley, to open the 5th inning.
And Freiberger now up to 9 strikeouts.
Next at the plate on the baseball side will be catcher number 2, Josiah McCoy.
And speaking of strikeouts, 2 of those 9 recorded by Freiberger were against McCoy. 0 for 2 today.
Play is made at first on the softball side to put 1 away for the Knights.
So 1-0 count now on McCoy.
Next at the plate for Ocoee, number 44, Smith.
And Freiberger, who came in with a .58 ERA, a 2-0 record. He's now a 2-0 count on McCoy. He has gotten at least 1 strikeout in every inning except for the 3rd. That 3rd was the inning that Wekiva scored its 2 runs and got its 3 hits. The foul ball will make the count 2-1. A very efficient game today for Freiberger. Again, other than the 3rd inning, he has not faced more than 4 batters in an inning.
Play is made at first, 2 away for the Knights. Next at the plate, number 00, Novoa.
And 2-2 count now on McCoy. That's the baseball team. 1 out, top of the 6th, 13-2, Freedom in the lead. And connect, but right to the 2nd baseman, Ujake. Couple steps over to his right.
Ujake to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. 2 away for the Mustangs on the baseball side. Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 23, Demir Simon.
And with Simon stepping in, Wekiva is down to their very last out. Even though we are in the bottom of the 6th inning, FHSAA rules is 10-run deficit. After the 4th inning, the game is officially over at the end of the home team's at-bat.
Novoa safe at first. Hack now at the plate for the Knights.
Simon with a swing and a miss. Simon also 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Freiberger with 9 strikeouts. He's gone the distance, needs 1 more out for a complete game. And he will have to work a little bit longer as the count is now 1-1.
Meanwhile, we have a steal at 2nd base for Novoa.
Hit by Simon. Diving catch in left field. Echoes. Completes. Allows Freiberger to complete the complete game. Your final score will be 3-2. Only 24 batters faced by Freiberger, who also records 9 strikeouts.
That takes us to the end of the baseball game, 13-2, the final score on the retired strikeout. Meanwhile, we have a run scored on the softball side. And next at the plate will be number 99, Walker.
So once again, Wekiva goes down. They will walk off the field with the record dropping to 3-9. This is the baseball team. Freedom ups its record to 9-3, and the story of the day was Freiberger's pitching performance.
Play is made. The play is made at first, and that will take us to the middle of the 5th inning. And Ocoee scoring 1 run in that half inning to take the lead 5-4.
So Freiberger to wrap up the baseball game.
And we've reached the middle of the 5th inning. We weren't able to do this on the baseball side because we had 2 things going on at once. But now that we've reached the middle of the 5th on the softball side, it's time for the 5th inning stretch. So stand up, stretch your legs, and join us now for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root, root, root for the Mustangs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. We'll be right back. Now at the plate for the Mustangs, number 22, Elisha Perez. With a runner on first, and that is Merrick. All right, so we are going to try to get things converted over here now that we have just one game to be working on. So I am going to take a look at the softball line score now. That takes us to the end of the fifth inning. The score remains unchanged. The Knights continue to lead 5-4 at the end of 5 innings. All right, so hang on with us. We're switching the scoreboard system over to the softball game so we can handle this more easily for the rest of the night, and we'll be back in a moment. As we enter the top of the 6th inning, the Knights will begin in the 8th position of their lineup with center fielder number 18, Gable. And that scorebug should read 5-4. I'm just waiting for it to update. In play, and it's live. Headed down to third base. That'll be a hit. Gable with a short drive into left field. That makes her safe at first. Next at the plate for the Knights, catcher number 3, Wallace. Foul ball. There we go. Finally got the scorebug to update at the bottom there. We are working on catching up on the complete line score, runs, hits, errors, etc., so that I can load that into the main scoreboard system. We only have one of those. And so once I get that loaded in, then I'll be able to switch the scorebug over, and you'll get the count and all that good stuff. And when we get to half innings, we can put up the big scoreboard, just like we did for baseball. That is going to land in fair territory, but it bounces short enough that hit is earned by the Knights, and that puts runners at 1 and 3. Next at the plate, they'll put up number 8, the second baseman, Jackson, with Shea on first. And with the bases loaded, for that matter. Okay. All right, so Wekiva. Play is made at third, but not before 2 runs score. One away for the Knights. Next to the plate for Ocoee, pitcher number 44, Smith. No.
Softball and baseball tournaments come and do the same thing. That's really cool. They don't play them. They don't play them on like the softball tournaments start the week before the baseball tournament, like you do here in high school. But softball, you can have as many as 9 different teams playing at the same time. There's both softball and baseball at the same time. Because they play a best of, so they do double elimination. I'm going the other way. I'm not
That's better. All right, now we have, I think, an accurate scoreboard. Now at the plate for Ocoee, number 00, Novoa. Pitch in the dirt. It brings up a 1-1 count. That's in play. And it's going to drop and bring home a run. Novoa with an RBI. She's safe at second and scores a run. Next at the plate for Ocoee, first baseman number 19, Tack. First pitch away, and it's fouled for strike one. Second pitch away, it's low and inside, and gives an opportunity for an extra base on the wild pitch. That's popped up, has an opportunity to make a catch, and it drops. Next at the plate for Ocoee, number 99, Walker. And she starts with a foul. Swing and a miss for strike two. That is going to go fair to third. Play is made for the Mustangs on the throw from Concepcion to Schoen. That puts two away for the Knights. Next at the plate for Ocoee, number 18, Gable. And we'll get a strike at the plate. Meanwhile, that throw to first was not all for naught for the Knights. It did put a runner on third. In the dirt, nice stop, though, for the Mustangs by Griffin. 1-1. That goes straight past the pitcher. Gable picks up the RBI. And the play is made. Well, to be completely honest, I'm not sure where the play was made. We have a conference going on near first base. So now I need to check and see whether that run scored. I'll be right back. I need to know whether that run scored before they called the end.
Asked the ref, he's like, it's not my job to keep score. And I was like, oh. And then I asked McGowan, and she's like, he's supposed to keep score.
So is 12-4 then going into the bottom of the sixth, I presume?
Yes. He said they're about to win, so it's going to be 9.
All right. As we enter the bottom of the sixth inning, the Mustangs will begin in the fifth position of their lineup with catcher number 23, Matrice Boyd. And she starts with a foul ball. And Neil has gone off to interview Coach Scudero, so I want to welcome to the broadcast Keith Dickerson, who was doing all of our tech camera work for us. That is going to land in fair territory, and it goes off the glove of the Knights' third baseman. So they pick up, as far as I know, their first error of the game. It might be more than that, but I haven't been counting.
There's been 5 games going on, so.
Yes, something like that. Boyd is safe at first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, third baseman, number 21, Luis Concepcion. And meanwhile, let me reset your graphic there at the bottom of the screen with the right people on base. Bunt, nice bunt, beautiful bunt. The play is made at first on the throw to Jackson, but the bunt will advance the runner. Boyd is now at second.
Almost had another fumble there. They were all running into each other.
Next at the plate for the Mustangs, first baseman, number 3, Avery Schoen. And she opens with a ball, as I think I've finally gotten my act together on the scoreboard. And yeah, it's one of those things. It's a cool party trick when you can broadcast both a baseball game and a softball game at the same time. But it's kind of like trying to play 3 or 4 chess games at once, or I don't know, maybe do 3 or 4 Sudoku puzzles at the same time. Like it's.
I need all my face-to-face kids back because we needed some help today.
Yeah, it gets a little bit. I'm sure the count was off several times throughout today's broadcast, and I ask for your patience and forgiveness on that as we get a 3-1 count on the softball side of the field. But hey, you know what? I don't know any other school in Florida or the country for that matter that double broadcasts a sporting event. As Avery Schoen walks to first. That puts runners at 1 and 2 for the Mustangs. And next at the plate for Wekiva is left fielder number 7, Aubriana Bryson.
Yeah, I don't think there's 2 other people at a high school that have been sleeping on the couch as much this year as me and you have for our wives. All worth it, though. It's definitely been a hectic year, and glad we can bring it home to the parents and everything.
There's a nice position to second base. And I saw a safe signal from the umpire that was presumably referring, yes, so Bryson beats the throw to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder number 24, Cassandra Mark. She pops it up and...
Hope she's okay there.
Yeah, who is that? The catcher, if my scorecard is right, that's Wallace, is going to have a fence print on her face in the morning. Meanwhile, I believe we now have loaded bases for the Mustangs.
Well,
as Boyd chops a little lower than she probably should have. Excuse me, that's not Boyd, that's Mark.
Well, Coach McGowan just told me they're going to score 9 runs this inning, so there we go.
Well, this would be the time to do it, but they in fact do not, as Smith records the strikeout, and that will strand 3 on base, and the score remains 12-4 at the end of 6 innings. We'll be back in just a moment.
Shut it at one point. It was getting wet. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, at the beginning?
Huh?
At the beginning?
Yeah, I shut it for you. I didn't know where you were.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I forgot my mask. I went down. You know, we've been in this pandemic over a year now, and I just so forget to carry my mask.
I take it off and, oh.
As we enter the top of the 7th inning, the Knights will begin in the 9th position of their lineup with catcher number 3, Wallace. Welcome back to Mustang Field. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you to finish out the night. High and outside for ball 1. That brings up a 1-2 count after the foul. That one smacks into fair play. It should have been a 5-3 ground out, but the throw is bad. Wallace is safe. And she moves on to second base. Next at the plate for the Knights, they return to the top of their card with pitcher number 1, Shea. And she starts with a foul ball. For what it's worth, we also have flag football going on next door. That one, we've not been able to put 3 screens on the broadcast. We just don't have enough cable to do that. But we are live streaming flag football via our, I like to call it the Robo camera. It's actually called the Pixelot. So that, unfortunately, does not go to YouTube. We can't make that go to YouTube. It only goes to the NFHS network. But that's why they gave it to us for free, was because then it encourages you to subscribe to the NFHS network. So if you want to watch flag football, that is live right now on NFHS network. And then we were glad to bring you the other 2 games that don't have the Robo camera, because I haven't figured out a good way to do a Robo camera with artificial intelligence tracking the ball on a baseball and softball field. It's hard enough to do it with humans. Much less with artificial intelligence, as Smith walks to first. And that will put runners at 1 and 2 now as the next batter in the lineup for the Knights, second baseman number 8, Jackson. So this now almost feels too easy with just one game that we're watching at a time. And again, I want to thank Neil Fisher, who was on with me earlier for the baseball game, and who's been my side-by-side announcer for just about every sport we cover here at Wekiva. As we get a bunt, that's going to go straight to the pitcher. 1-3 ground out is there. So sacrifice bunt is made by Jackson. That will put one away for the Knights, but it moves the runners on to 2 and 3. Next at the plate for Ocoee, third baseman, number 47, Hendley. And again, all of this has been made possible, or certainly significantly enhanced, by the partnership that we've enjoyed this year with Wekiva Broadcast Production. Those of you who've been following Wekiva sports for a long time may know that, oh gosh, probably 5 years ago, I was trying to do audio podcasts through Ustream. I don't know if anybody listened to those other than me, but that was before we even had Wi-Fi out here, much less a way to do any real serious live streaming. Then a couple years ago, we started trying to do something where I would, like, rig a webcam and strap it to the backstop and plug it into my laptop and see what we could do. And that was kind of sort of okay, but it was obviously not great. And now, again, thanks to our partnership with Wekiva Broadcast Production, we're able to actually use decent equipment. We've never been able to live stream 2 games on the same stream at once before, with 4 cameras going at once, and being able to toggle between them and get multiple angles, which you kind of have to do for baseball and softball. That's going to go in play and sneak through no man's land. Wallace comes home on the single RBI from Hendley. Next at the plate for the Knights, number 44, Smith. So she was the starting pitcher, and she remains in the lineup. We now have a runner at 1.
Oh, now I'm on. Sorry. Shout out to you for obviously running the YouTube channels and everything, and thanks to all the viewers, because we've kind of taken some of the ad revenue and kind of kept the machine self-sustaining the last few months.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, how are we funding all of this, and, why do we give it away for free?
Panhandling.
Yeah, well, something like that. So on YouTube, we make money by the advertising that you see before the stream starts, and also the ads that we run during the breaks. And also, if you happen to be a YouTube Premium subscriber, we get a little cut of your monthly subscription fee when you watch our videos using your Premium subscription. If you watch on the NFHS network, we actually make quite a bit more money off of that, because that's actually a membership program. So obviously we would make more money if I forced everyone to go to NFHS Network. I make more money off of NFHS Network than I do off of YouTube, even though we have much fewer viewers. And there is still value in subscribing to NFHS Network, because then you get the RoboCam stuff in addition to our human live streams, and you get the postseason events as well that we're not allowed to put on YouTube by FHSAA policy unless we want to pay for media rights. So there is still value in the NFHS Network subscription, and I certainly could drive more value to it if that was the only place that I put our games. The reason that I've chosen to put our games on YouTube and NFHS simulcast and make them available for free with just the ad-supported YouTube subscription is because, particularly this year, although really even without the pandemic, I probably would have made the same decision. But especially this year, my number one priority continues to be access. My number one priority is to make sure that anybody who wants to be watching Wekiva Sports can be watching Wekiva Sports. And if that means, and if you're able to support us financially, awesome. If not, and you just want to watch the free streams on YouTube and watch the ads, I'm okay with that. I'm willing to make that trade-off, absolutely no problem, as we get a foul away there from Hendley to put up an 0-2 count.
The technology is just finally caught up with the ambition, too. I mean, you can be on your couch. You could have the shower hanging in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know my wife watches these things at home. So hi, Jamie, if you're watching. She watches these things from home. Like she'll be, sipping tea in bed and throw it on the TV, the big screen TV, using the YouTube casting thing with the Google Chromecast, because you can put these things on the big screen. So if you're currently watching us on a little 4-inch phone and you've never thought of doing that, as we're going to get that one popped into fair territory. That's it. Boy, Ocoee's raking in the hits today. That's 17 for them. RBI pulled in by Hendley, as that time Wallace comes home. And next at the plate will be, that was Smith with the RBI. And next up will be shortstop, number 00, Jay Navoa.
It's really awesome. I've heard you and our athletic director, Coach Biaggi. We've got people in other countries checking us out when their kids are overseas. And
yeah, that's the other cool thing about YouTube, and where YouTube maybe has a little bit of an advantage, even though we don't make as much money off of them. They're certainly a much bigger platform than NFHS Network. They're run by Google, and Google is all about analytics. And so the analytics that we get from YouTube are really, really rich, and we've learned that we have viewers from other countries. We have viewers from other states. We have, it gives us a little idea of demographics of who's watching and what kind of device they're watching on. Are they watching on a phone? Are they watching on a smart TV or on a computer? How are they finding us? Are they finding us with a Google search? Are they finding us by typing Wekiva Sports into YouTube? Are they finding us through the fact that our games are embedded on WekivaMustangs.com? Maybe they pulled it up through there, through the embedded player on WekivaMustangs.com. So there's several different ways you can get to the live stream, and it gives us a little insight into that. One thing, though, that's a little disappointing about those metrics is it tells me that only 15% of our total watch time comes from people who are subscribed to the channel. So if you are one of those people, hit the red subscribe button, for crying out loud. I don't ask you for any money. The least you can do is subscribe to the channel.
Mark wants the big silver play button. I think it's 100,000 subscribers, or
Something like that. Yeah, we got a ways to go. I was very pleased when we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, so we are 1/100th of the way toward going whatever you call it, YouTube Platinum or whatever. But the major milestone was hitting 1,000 subscribers, and we're actually up to 1,600 now, and I haven't even been pushing that hard for it, so that's been really cool. That is headed down the third base line, might land fair. And it does, and that's going to score at least 2 runs. Novoa picks up 2 RBIs and gets herself to third base, going deep into left field.
Seeing a pattern between both games. It's about middle of the game, both of them, boys and the girls, just like all of a sudden you get, once the other team gets some momentum, the score just doubles and triples at that point.
Next at the plate is first baseman number 19, B. Tack. This could be catchable, and it is. Fly catch is made right next to home for the Mustangs by Griffin, and that will take us to the middle of the 7th inning, and that was a very productive inning for the Knights. 4 runs scored on several hits with 1 Mustang error, and now the score stands 16-4 at the end of 6.5 innings. So we're going to take one more quick break. If you are on the ad-supported version of YouTube, you might see an ad. If not, if you don't see an ad or if you pay for YouTube Premium, you're just going to hear silence. We mute the audio so that we don't get dinged for copyright violation. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Field. The Mustangs open up the 7th inning in the first position of their lineup with pitcher number 1, Lexi Witz. And Witz opens with 3 fouls, so the count remains 0-2. Back-to-back fly catches will put 2 away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva Shortstop, number 22, Alicia Perez. She starts with a ball in the dirt, brings up a 1-0 count. Mustangs now with 2 outs on the board. This could be the last batter. Unless Perez is able to do something here. She pops that one up from behind. That actually came right over to me. Let's see. It's under my, it went under my broadcast cart. All right. I should point out that you are immediately out and ejected from the game if you beam the announcer. That's the rule. Perez drops a short line drive into center field. She's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, catcher number 12, Alyssa Griffin. She opens with a ball. Fouled away behind the plate. That brings up a 1-1 count. I should also point out that because we had to position the equipment halfway between the baseball and softball fields, I have a really terrible view of softball, so I'm watching the same feed that you are. Mustangs go for broke, and it's going to pay off with an error. Alicia Perez scores for the Mustangs. Griffin, meanwhile, is safe at second. She properly earned a single and then picked up an extra base. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, second baseman number 23, Matrice Boyd. And there the play is made at first, and so that will take us to the end of the ball game. The Knights in total 16 runs on 17 hits with 2 Mustang errors. Mustangs 5 runs on 7 hits with 2 Knight errors. And that takes us to the end of the ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out this afternoon to support your Mustang and Knight athletes. Thanks also to our baseball fans and players coming out to support the Mustangs and Patriots. And also special thanks to those of you who joined us online on YouTube or the NFHS Network, watching today's live stream of either or both games. For those of you here in the ballpark, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching online, don't forget to subscribe before you disconnect tonight. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. The Mustang baseball team, your next chance to catch them in action is coming up in just 2 days. They will be at Umatilla at 6 p.m. coming up on Thursday the 1st, and then they're back home against Oak Ridge Friday at 4:30. As for the softball team, your next chance to catch them in action is coming up on Friday as they travel to Edgewater at 4 p.m. Your next chance to catch them at home is on April 6th against Timber Creek. We'll live stream those as well. Once again, thanks for your support. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and the NFHS Network, and good night from Mustang Field.